Today in the crypto space, we see the market looking nice and strong. Bitcoin right around $105,000, up approximately 5%, and Ethereum right around the $3,500 mark, also up approximately 5%. And the rest of the crypto space, these altcoins, some of them are getting nice bounces to the upside. However, guys, the hesitation is expected as Bitcoin draws liquidity out of them. We eventually could expect a great rotation and potentially see an altcoin season. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one project that is part of a hot narrative, and of course that project is called IONET. So you know what, let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what we got going on here. Interesting times. Of course, Bitcoin, $105,000, guys, right now at 105, 253,000. Great stuff here for the Bitcoin price, up approximately 10.4% in the last 7 days, which is great grind to the upside. But what I really do want to focus on in the next little while is the market cap. And the reason being is that as long as we continue staying and hovering around this level without new without new capital entering the space, all we do is get rotation. Now, it's good to see that the market cap right now is reaching higher levels. That's awesome. That means fresh capital is coming in. But we need a lot more here, guys. And an indication of a lot more is volume, is trading volume. The trading volume, although it is on a slow grind upwards, very slight slope to the upside, it is very sideways still, which means that we need a little bit more. We need more volume, we need more hype, we need more retail investment, and this eventually will come. But in the meantime, we need to be very patient. However, guys, we can celebrate the fact is that the market cap is back to about $3.8 trillion, nice higher levels, and of course this is bullish for the space altogether, and of course led by the heavyweights, Bitcoin and Ethereum. You can see that Bitcoin right now is up 4.6%, approximately 5% for the day. Ethereum, the same thing. So they're in a bit of a gridlock here. Which one is dominant over the other? The reality is that it requires quite a bit of coordination amongst all the altcoins in order to see an altcoin season, and more importantly, to see the Bitcoin dominance fall. Because as a indicator, a lot of us are looking for the Bitcoin dominance as that signal to suggest when we should be getting risk on into the alts. However, guys, if you're waiting for that absolute signal, it might be too late. You know, it's a wise idea to slowly DCA into altcoins as we see Bitcoin get into these price discovery ranges. And even more so if we see Ethereum get into that price discovery range. Okay, so very important times right now. Bitcoin showing a lot of strength. Like I mentioned, drawing liquidity out of the market is the primary objective at the current moment for Bitcoin, as long as the market cap kind of slowly rises. If it rises a lot harder, you know, there's fresh capital. Bitcoin doesn't need to draw liquidity out of the rest of the space. In fact, there's a lot of capital to go around the entire space, which is obviously healthy. But there's going to be a moment where Bitcoin gets too risky. Right? It gets too risky, and then we're going to see bigger rotations. We're going to see bigger moves into the altcoin space. So we have to stay one step ahead of the market here, guys. You guys know that's a big part of what I do here, is trying to look at what we should be doing next. I don't want to wait till the market actually starts moving. You know, it happens at the worst times. You're sleeping or you're occupied and things start cranking. You want to be in before that happens. And the only way to do that is, again, to analyze charts and prepare to DCA stay in those good lower level horizontal support zones with good risk to reward ratios. Okay, positions of strength is what I look for. Let's continue going down here. We do see Solana showing a lot of strength, of course. A lot of them, market structure-wise, we're doing great. We're up 15.3% for Solana. BNB being a little bit more stagnant than usual, but BNB at about $750 to about $800 is great. Guys, BNB came a long way for an exchange token. So ultimately having its own chain and so on and so forth. So great stuff for BNB. And as we go down, we see a lot of these fractals looking similar, pretty much identical for that matter. If you kind of look at all of these, you know, we see Chainlink showing a lot of strength in AVAX. Both of my long positions have been printing on AVAX and Chainlink. I plan on closing some of that into profit, guys. It's important to take profit. I know I'm saying we're altcoin season, and I know you're saying that maybe I should hold, but the reality is that my entries were so good that I want to secure gains. The only way you can call yourself a profitable trader is to secure the gains and rotate it into projects that haven't pumped yet. And if you look at what has been happening here for AVAX and Chainlink in the last 7 days, as a trader, again, you're looking at a 25% move and a 12.5% move on the 7-day. And that's a pretty good scenario. Okay, so overall, we're very profitable there. Sui has been kind of grinding slowly. We're seeing the Sui DeFi ecosystem get a bit of a recovery in the last little bit. It's very evident, like Deep has been flying, and we're seeing Blue hopefully get a nice reversal where it is right now. It's been showing a little bit of strength, so Sui's quite interesting as well. And as we keep on going down, those fractals, again, they look fairly similar, guys. A lot of these fractals are exactly the same, and you can see even Pepe getting a few bids right there. We have Near Protocol, another opportunity. I think Near Protocol might be waking up. It's part of the AI narrative. It wants to focus on AI, but more importantly, what's giving me the signal now is Aurora, a DeFi play on Near, the DEX on Near, which gives me that indication that we could start seeing more on-chain transactions for Near, giving it, of course, a lot more trading volume and more trading volume, maybe more upside potential as it attracts capital. So in the narrative as well. So not bad of a scenario for Near, seeing it kind of wake up a little bit. And Aurora did get a nice spike today, which is very nice to see, a wake-up call for sure. And again, there's a lot of good price action here, guys. I think the overall market for another day is approximately 5 to 10%. That's the average green today. And you can see there's a lot of them that are up 5 to 10%. Good stuff here for the portfolio, but we're still waiting for that parabolic run. And we're only going to get that again towards the end of the bull run. The reality is, a lot of people don't understand, towards the end of the bull run is the most magical moment for the altcoin market. And it's very short. It's not long. It's not, of course, there's a lot of people that think that we're going to get, an extended bull run, which is possible. I'm not going to say that it's not possible, but we have to entertain the idea that, historically speaking, the altcoin season, where the real magic happens for a lot of these gains in the altcoin market, is towards the end of the bull run. So we are preparing for that. That's what we're doing here, right? We're preparing for those opportunities. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts as well. So let's begin. Let's begin by looking at Bitcoin. What's going on with Bitcoin? Bitcoin is going nuts. Bitcoin is almost in price discovery, potentially looking for that very, very soon. Do we get in there over the weekend, or do we see some red over this weekend? And it's very possible that we could get into a very volatile space as we get to the previous high. Let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. Now, what's interesting to me is that literally the 4-hour played out so beautifully, and it was very respected. And that's when I started to take a little bit of risk. And I said to myself, you know what? I am not going to be the one to look back and say I should have taken the shot based on the 4-hour thesis. If the 4-hour thesis ended up flopping, all good. At least the invalidation was super clear. 92,000. I identified this very clearly, and I followed through based on the 4-hour. Now, I also did very clearly prepare for the possibility for a further dip if we broke the neckline. Guess what, guys? That's history now. We're in a different state at the current moment. It's starting to look too bullish, in my opinion, to get too bearish. All right, we have a lot of levels now that we got to kind of like break below in order to get back to that $87,000 to $77,000 thesis, right? So I kind of want to put that on the back burner, but the reality is it could still happen. We could still get a massive rejection here in reverse and all the way come down, but the probability right now is very little. It's a game of probability here, guys. There's no game of certainty. This is not certainty. This is probability. And the probability is right now that even if we come down for a short-term dip, even back to $100,000, which is a nice psychological round number level for support, we get a bounce and then we start going for a higher high. Okay, so this is what I'm playing out right now, is that any dips need to be bought, especially as this structure gets broken and we get the breaker structure to the upside. Obviously, we're still contending with the previous high. Obviously, we have a bit of a trend line that we might respect here. If you follow all these bottoms, all the way from down here, we got this bottom, all of this, all these tops, and then all of a sudden right now, we're dealing with this level. You can see the confluence in all of this. It's beautiful. The interesting part would be is if we see this candle get back into this level and then get to much higher levels and start looking for an extension. Another interesting thing to see is maybe this does turn into maybe a cup and handle, right? This would invalidate a nice rounded bottom, right? Fine, but who cares? Let's get a bull flag right here. Let's get some sort of consolidation above the 102. Let's make a bull flag showing support for the 102,000, back test the 102,000, back test maybe the 100, like I'm saying. Let's flag out here and get that bull flag so that eventually the alts catch up in that bull flag, and then eventually we start to see Bitcoin go for another run and we see the total market cap continue. We're going to see a lot of bullishness. We're going to see a lot of newcomers start coming back in. We're going to see a lot of FOMO, a lot of hype, and that euphoric price action is what gives us strong bull runs and strong altcoin seasons. So at the current moment, guys, we have no choice but to remain bullish until further data presents itself. I do see this little rejection here. This is where I'm kind of expecting some sort of resistance. This level worked out perfectly. I anticipated this, guys. I was right right on it as it was reaching this level. Everything said to me, this is a retail liquidation hunt, and it absolutely played out, which was great. If you held on to your longs, congrats, because we were going long all into this level, and all of a sudden we're basically breaking the previous high, which is good, right? The only problem that I am seeing at the current moment is that one of the hottest narratives out there, of course the latest and the hottest, which is the AI agents narrative, is currently pulling back significantly. And this is probably because, of course, it is a newer narrative, it is a little bit more speculative, and and ultimately when people start seeing Bitcoin run like this, they flock into safety, into safe trades. It's absolutely fine. This is a safe move. Bitcoin moving is a safe move, right? Now, they might say, you know what, as soon as I see Bitcoin get to a frothy level or a scary level, I'm going to get back in to those AI agents, which this is called rotation. Are we going to get that rotation? Now, that all depends on how this diagonal works out, the bottom of this trend line, stemming from here. If it gets a rejection, guys, like I said, let's wait for a structure. I usually say this, right? Wait for structure or wait for the full-on pullback retracement back to liquidity levels, okay? Right now, there's none of that. On the 4-hour, not on the daily, and not on the 1 hour, nowhere. And I bet we're overbought for sure on lower time frames. Even on the 4-hour, we're finally overbought. We're overbought in a good way. We're up above the 70. There's no sign of bearish divergence just yet. So we've done a great job. And look at the weakness in the bears. It didn't even want to get oversold here, guys. We did a complete Uno reverse right into here and went bullish like crazy. Okay, so this is amazing. Good stuff for Bitcoin. Congrats to all the holders. Congrats to everybody that got into some good long positions, because ultimately Bitcoin is giving us great signals of a continuation and, of course, the continuation of the bull run. All right, guys, let's continue. Let's jump right into the chart of today. It is IO. IO right now is in an interesting zone. And if you look at what I'm looking at right now, you might say, Mike, but you're buying a little bit of a pump. Okay, but we got to zoom out a little bit, because I know it looks great. It does look great. Like if you happen to buy into here, you're laughing, you're happy. But I think that that's not even where the magic really happens. If you look at it, you're up 30%. Of course, nobody frowns on a 30% move. But let's look at the daily for a second. All right, let's look at the daily, and you can see that the daily is a whole other level. A whole other level. Now, just keep in mind, Okay, now there are people that bought here at this bottom, and of course I'm one of them. Okay, I bought into this level, a part of the Solana narrative that I got into. I sold all my Bitcoin that I bought for this cycle at the beginning of the bull run. Right when we started, I was buying bottom prices on Bitcoin. And then what I decided to do is when I saw Bitcoin reach price discovery, I'm like, you know what, Bitcoin did a great job. I want to get risk on. And you can see that since that entry, IO is already has been got, went up 140%, 44%, which is crazy, right? I'll definitely outperforming Bitcoin 100%. The problem is that right now, if you're looking for an entry, you have to keep in mind that there's people down here, again, such as myself, that have big bags and they're in severe profit, okay, doing well. So that is your challenge. Your challenge now is to deal with these people, the emotions of these people, and the emotions that include taking profit, right? And in the meantime, expecting to still be bullish because we're not in an altcoin season or in a bull run just yet here on these altcoins. You can see that. We didn't even break previous high. So what we really have to do is find a good balance. Now, structurally speaking, guys, this thing is in a good spot, okay? And in a really good spot. And it's not just because I want this to continue for my own bags. What I'm saying this is that literally based on structural support, you're buying into a big bull flag after an impulsive move from the absolute bottom, which is great. Okay, so I'm going to use I'm going to do a bit of market structure analysis here for a second. Then we'll take a look at momentum and trend and all that good stuff. So I'm going to use this tool right here. So obviously a triangular formation. I'm just going to quickly inform you that such a triangular formation is usually bearish. It does have a decent projection to the downside. It's all probability, like I mentioned. Statistically speaking, it should break down. But when we're holding horizontals and we're waiting for a bull run, it could turn out to be a bullish move to the upside, which we got. We broke trend and then we started moving. Okay, great stuff. Then we got to this level. Okay, I'm not going to entertain anything else other than this top, and then start looking at what really happened, which is we start building a structure here. So we came down once and twice. Now, if it is an ABC correction, it is sideways and it is looking like a bull flag. Now, according to the statistics, again, after an impulsive move and we go into some sort of consolidation or structure, which would be in this case a bull flag or even a pennant, like I'm saying, where it's a tad retracive, ultimately what we're looking for is a continuation pattern. And usually, this is again statistics. If you look into Elliott wave theory, the second move, or sorry, the third wave to the upside is the strongest, which means that it needs to technically be bigger than the first wave. Okay, so let's plop that right here, right now. I'll just leave that here. Okay, and the reason why I'm calling this the third wave is because literally we did 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we're waiting for the bigger move to the upside. And you got to understand the psychology here as well, is that people that bought in here, okay, they were bullish, they did their thing. This was a good time to de-risk and take profit. Now, all of a sudden that you're in structure, what's great is that you're able to buy into a bull flag where you can put a stop loss. If you missed out on this bottom, you can put a stop loss on these bottoms at the 200 daily EMA, right around $2.56, and expect a continuation to the upside. Okay, so this is where things get really interesting, right? Because you're not putting a stop loss all the way down here. That risk to reward ratio would be absolutely garbage. What you really want to do is get into a scenario where you can put your stop loss very clear to invalidation, which again, invalidation is at the bottoms, right at the 200 daily EMA, right here, more or less $2.50, and accumulate as best as you can, because I'm putting it here because of the confluence. You got the tip of the wick, you got the 200 EMA, and of course you got the structure that with all the volume right into here, a building that is going to act as support if we dare come down for another lower low. Okay, so that's that. Given that Bitcoin and everything right now is looking amazing, right? And even IO net right now is up 6.6%, which is obviously great. So if we are going to say that the third wave has to be bigger than the first one, again, according to Elliott wave, what we have to do is kind of say, okay, if that's the size of the first one, then we must be going like at least a little bit higher. Okay, maybe $6. Okay, maybe $6. Maybe that's the thing. But more importantly, again, guys, there's so much to talk about here, and this is why I like this chart so much, is that this is a cup and handle. Okay, and I know I left it to the end, but the reality is it is a cup and handle that looks absolutely amazing. Like it's like almost like perfect, like really perfect. I just want to make sure the invalidation is not there. Let's see, make sure it didn't get, I can eyeball it, doesn't look invalidated. Swing low to swing high. We are basically are respecting, if we include the wicks, we're doing pretty good. We're at right now 0.5 fib. We came as low as the golden pocket. It's not bad. Okay, we didn't invalidate. Usually what they say is that if it breaks below the 0.5 fib, it gets invalidated. The problem is that this wick was so big. If you exclude the wick, it's at 0.5 fib. If you include the wick, it's at the golden pocket, respecting the 200 daily. It's fine, guys. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, this is not an actual science or anything like that. What you're trying to do is get an overall idea of what's really happening. After this impulse, we got a lot of bullishness, and some people are taking profit. As long as the bears that are selling, and they're not really bears, they're taking profit. Who cares? They're taking profit. That's their right to take profit. They want to be considered profitable traders. That's cool. However, the people that have a longer term vision, that are ultimately bullish for the bull run, or even multi-cycle holders, they're going to buy the dip. They're going to buy. And the evidence that we have that this project is likely to continue is that those bulls are consuming and accumulating all those sell orders at all these prices that don't cause the price to actually make a lower low. That's telling you that all that sell pressure is being neutralized by the equal amount of buy pressure. So supply is not outperforming demand. Demand is keeping up with the supply that is entering the market as people take profit, and we're going sideways. And that means that as soon as all those sellers are done selling, from a psychological perspective, they're done, they're out, they de-risk, they're ready to like maybe continue if they've left some bags. But the reality is that the bulls are ready to continue to the upside, and they're going to continue moving upwards. So this is a sign of continuation, and this is why bull flags are one of the most powerful indications to reaccumulate, to put in a structure that will get you in from a great risk to reward ratio and expect a continuation pattern. They're called continuation patterns for a reason. Okay, so that's that. So cup and handle, back to that. I know I went on a sidetrack, but at least a little bit of theory and education there. Obviously, that's part of my philosophy here on the channel, and if you do appreciate it, of course, slap the like button. It does help. Okay, so let's continue. We do have a deep cup, which is very, very nice. And if we take a measured move, right, we take a measurement of the, let's call it the neckline. Now, of course, this would have been nice not to have that, but who cares? Honestly, I've learned over the years, over the many cycles that I've been in already, I don't look for perfection in a chart. You're going to miss out on so many trades if you look for absolute perfection. Okay, you're going to have to be okay with the charts being a little bit messy once in a while. Now, if we start looking for a breakout here, the reality is that the measured move should be from the neck to the base of the cup. Okay, and we're going to take that measurement and take it all the way here. Okay, so we're at about $7 right now, which is quite interesting. So what we're going to do is put another horizontal, and we're going to put an indicator there suggesting resistance. Okay, we're going to put a red arrow. That's how I usually mark up my charts, and I put arrows in places where I'm most interested to, be defensive. It doesn't mean that I'm going to go and take everything off the table. That's where I'm going to have to see, look, what's the chart telling me? Are we retracing? Are we getting a divergence? Are we getting anything like that? Okay, so we're going to keep an eye on there. Another thing that I would like to do is look for extension levels. Okay, so we can use this swing high and go all the way down to the swing low and start looking for the 1.27 extension. I see it around $8, which is the 1.27. And we also have the 1.618 right here. Okay, this is big picture moves, right? This is all the data we have at the current moment. So we got to entertain these possibilities, right? Obviously, this extension is this move right here is very close to the previous high. And this one right here, we're starting to get into real profit, guys. I'm not even going to measure at the current moment how profitable we be, but we're doing pretty good, right? If you happen to get into this level, let's say you accumulate right here at these bottoms, or even where we are right now, and you endure a bit of a dip. If we do come down, you accumulate all into this handle or this bull flag, right? And then you start looking, okay, up here I'm up 95%. I could take half on the double. Over here I'm up 122. Over here I'm up almost 175%. So you're doing pretty good, and you can see that's only a 1.618 extension level on a lower-ish cap project. It's not a large cap whatsoever. So the thing is that in a altcoin season and a very strong bull run, as soon as we see the altcoins get the rotation, we start to see multiple extension levels hit. And of course, I'm not going to get too moon boyish here for you, but if we hit a 3.618, a 4.618, I am happy taking profits all day long there. You will be up multiple percentage, like multiple X's at that point. So for me, it's one step at a time, level to level. And what I am noticing here is the preparation in this level for this type of move is quite big. Now, just remember, the IO is part of the Solana narrative. It's part of the Solana ecosystem, which obviously has a lot of liquidity, a lot of trading volume, lots of bullishness, lots of hype, lots of this and that. So keep in mind, okay? What else do we got here? I didn't even get into oscillators yet. Let's do it. Let's see what's going on with oscillators. We're in the chop zone right now. And as expected, when you're going sideways, momentum, there is no momentum. You're going sideways, right? But volatility is still going up and down, up and down, up and down. What I like to see is the trend of the momentum in a direction. I want to see it either go up or down. It doesn't matter, obviously. But I want to trade the volatility in the same direction as the momentum. So if the purple line is going downwards, I want to short every time we see volatility up here, which is the orange line. Now, are we in an uptrend here on momentum? I see it in a bit of an uptrend right now. Okay, it is trekking slowly to the upside, very nicely. Now, this red expansion looks like it's done. We could be getting a green expansion very soon. We can go up for another move to the upside and get another green one. And it's very possible that on the daily, that's what happens. Okay, so keep in mind, volatility right now is pushing to the upside in the same direction as momentum. I can see this thing breaking out. It could be very possible that we get in overbought conditions in a big way very, very soon. Okay, so this is very ideal. I want to quickly go on the 4-day for a second here to see what's going on. This thing is in clear uptrend, clearly in an uptrend. Didn't get overbought on the 4-day. Okay, and volatility right now is bottomed out. If volatility starts moving and want to get fully overbought, right, and momentum is in the same direction even after a retracement, this whole move in the same direction is going to be very, very good. Okay, so be very careful, be prepared for all of that. Okay, so I'm glad that we were able to cover this today because it looks very nice. What else do we got? Let's take a look at the trend oscillator. Guys, the trend oscillator is looking pretty good. It was a bit of a fake out. You can see it looks like a duck face. These duck faces, when they show up, they're signs of fake outs in the sense that EMAs didn't actually cross. They wanted to fake you out and make it look like a cross, but it didn't happen. They want to shake you out of your bags. Now, it doesn't mean that it can't eventually cross. It just means that right now this is a very indecisive state. We got many green histogram bars. We didn't roll over into the bearish control zone. We didn't get an EMA cross. However, if we do come down to this lower level, guys, yes, it's going to be in the bearish control zone, but as of now, the trend oscillator is telling us there's nothing really to worry about. It's faking you out. It's indecisive. You know what? Just be neutral on this oscillator, which is totally fine. Everything else is bullish right now on the 4-day. And if you look at the daily on this oscillator, you can tell what's really happening on the daily. That was a 4-hour, by the way, guys, which is a time frame that I rarely trade. You can see we're getting an EMA cross right now, and the indecision and all that indecisiveness that I showed you on the 4-day stems from, look at this, it's stuck going sideways for a little while. Okay, so you can see that there's confluence even time frame to time frame. It's very confluent. 4-hour, looking bullish, EMAs to the upside, green histogram bars, and a follow through from the bullish divergence right there that was identified. Guys, everything is looking good for IONet. Okay, so right now, what would I be doing? Now back to the summary. Guys, any dip should be bought. I like this area. This volume gap no longer really exists. This used to be a volume gap, but now that we've consolidated in this zone, guess what, guys? This is going away. It's no longer that much of a weak spot. I would say this is the weak spot right now. As you can see, the indent of the volume. If we break above $4, we're likely starting to really move. And we could, you know, hit a hiccup at $5.36 where we get some sort of reaction. But after this, guys, the reality is I think there's going to be a lot of FOMO in the market and we start looking for price discovery. It's time. It's time. I feel like it's time to actually start moving and getting this bull run on onwards. Guys, we've been very patient. Congrats if you're still here. Guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor, slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. I'm going to be live tonight at 8 p.m. EST talking about crypto news and price action. It is a great time and place to make any requests. If you have requests on any projects you want me to cover, that join. It's free, obviously, and we're going to be talking about all kinds of different projects and looking for those nice rounded bottoms. Guys, if you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Feel free to join that Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. tutorial. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.